Hello, amazing parents and caretakers, and welcome to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. I'm your family empowerment coach, Celia Kibler. I'm a mom of a blended family of 5 kids. I'm a grandma of 9 kids, an author, a teacher, a speaker, and a consultant with over 40 years of training and real-life parenting experience. I'm here to offer you practical, doable tips, strategies, and techniques that will pump up your parenting skills and create peace, love, and laughter throughout your family. In addition, I'll be interviewing some great humans that are on a mission to make your life a better, happier, and healthier life. So let's not waste any time and get started with the next episode of the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. Thanks for listening. Let me tell you a little bit about my wonderful friend Danny, who we have been friends for many years. We met in a group, a coaching group, and the best thing to come out of that expense, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, I'm not going to talk badly about anybody, is meeting Danny and Harry, my 2 most treasured friends. So everything has a benefit. Everything has a benefit. So let me tell you about this guy because he's pretty phenomenal. So Daniel Diaz is a performance coach and founder of Peak Life Now and UPX. He is an internationally recognized performance coach, endurance athlete, and speaker who helps high-achieving individuals unlock the next level of their lives through the intersection of discipline, intuition, and self-compassion, a philosophy he calls the Holy Trinity of Flow. After being listed twice by Forbes and ranked among the top performance coaches by major outlets like Yahoo Finance and the SF Examiner, Daniel realized that true success isn't just about pushing harder, it's about learning how to listen deeper. We've been talking a lot about this listening thing. Today, he helps leaders, entrepreneurs, and growth-driven individuals rewire their inner dialogue, anchor into unshakable self-belief, and train their minds and bodies to operate from presence instead of pressure. Through his transformational program, UPX, and his coaching platform, Peak Life Now, Daniel uses endurance training, mindset coaching, and the spiritual alignment to guide clients to their highest expression, not just in what they do, but in how they feel it. His mission is simple: help people remember how incredible they already are. He's going to talk about how most people believe peace and progress are at odds, that you can either live a calm life or chase big goals, but not both. Not true. Daniel Diaz is here to challenge that belief. In this inspiring talk, Daniel reveals how to access calm within the climb, the ability to stay grounded, centered, and present, even while pursuing big dreams. Drawing from years of experience as a performance coach and endurance athlete, Daniel shares the mindset shifts and daily practices that allow you to pursue peak performance without sacrificing your well-being. With the calm within the climb, I bring you Danny Diaz. Drum roll. Wait, there's some kind of drum roll here. Oh, no, I can't do it now.
Oh, wow. That was cool. Thanks, Celia.
You're
the
pretty
best.
amazing.
I know. I feel the same
Amazing.
way about how we met. And I feel the same way about you. You're so awesome. And Sherry, it was amazing to catch the end of your speech. I'm so glad I did. You have such a nice energy. Okay, so I got 30 minutes to help you guys be calm. Let's
Yeah,
rock
you
and
can
roll.
take a little longer if you need to.
Okay, cool.
Are you
no,
using
it's
slides or just your general
I'm just gonna
amazing,
use me.
sparkling personality?
Just going to use me. So
Okay.
I might draw something on a piece of paper and show it to the camera. Never know. We'll see where this thing goes. I'm happy that you guys are all here though, and I'm happy to share some of this experience of life with you. So, when I think about this idea of like, how do we help people feel calm or be more calm or take one idea and make it lasting change after this, right? Like, we're going to get tons of breakthroughs yesterday, today. I know I'm the last person. Hopefully you catch some with me, but tomorrow, tons of breakthroughs. There's going to be so many aha moments, and not to be like a Debbie Down, but they don't matter unless we implement them, right? So what can I teach you in 30 minutes that can help you actually shift your perspective on how you might be able to play the game a little differently, to help you feel a little bit more fulfilled long term, which I believe fulfillment and calm, they kind of go hand in hand. As I feel fulfilled in life, I feel calm in the moments. So what I want to talk about is that, because also, what are we doing? We're here to help raise the next generation of calm, right? So I believe that they're not going to learn how to be calm from us telling them what to do. They're going to learn how to be calm from us, from feeling that we embody a calm nervous system, right? That like our energy on the inside is actually churning and working in this warm space of calm confidence. I mean, you said some of these words, Sherry, calm confidence, like this courageousness, right? This clarity. So I believe that it starts with us. If we really want to get with them, if we want to make the change, then we can take an aha moment from today or this week, and then we can really implement it and transform it. And I'm going to share the three things that I use, like these three areas of focus to help me stay the most calm, the most fulfilled, the most balanced that I can. Okay. I talk about God, I talk about spirituality. So, if any of it doesn't align, it's all good. Like, I'm not a religious person by any means, but I do believe that there's like this energy that in the world that we all get to work with. So I talk about that stuff. Um, I'm still going to talk about the fear of slowing down, right? That there is this, I think, at least when I face a lot of high performers and a lot of high achievers and people that really want to excel as a parent and in their own personal world or in the wealth container, that there is this high drive and there's this idea that if I become complacent or really enjoy where I am currently, that I'll lose the drive. I won't want to keep doing it. I'll feel so in love with where I'm at that I'll just not choose to progress further. And like this couldn't be further from the truth. And that's a lot of the things that I talk about when I speak with high performers and I work with them, is that we have to understand that at a deep level, we have this drive to expand and to learn more about who we are. Right? Like our soul's calling wants to explore this human experience. Okay. And it's going to whisper to us all the time. And when we learn to listen to it and act on it, we start to really feel this flow of life. So, I'm sorry, I just lost myself. I think calmness is often found in knowing thyself and loving thyself, right? So when I talk to high performers about, hey, listen, like it's okay to slow down, like you're not going to lose your drive. It's because one, we have this innate drive to know thyself, and we know thyself by expanding, by testing the limits and by pushing ourselves. We do it in our marriages if we choose to be better partners. We do it with our kids if we choose to be more conscious and thoughtful leaders as parents, right? We do it with our friend group if we want to elevate the vibration of our network, right? And we do it with our bodies and our health. We do it with our mind, right? We do it with our ability to surrender. Maybe that's through a spiritual connection, or maybe it's just our ability to let go. But these are all the ways that we can expand in our life to know thyself better, and to know thyself and then to love thyself can help us really feel this level of calm. Okay. Is everybody following me so far? I get a couple hands up. Good to go. Love it. I draw like a Venn diagram when I have like a whiteboard, right? And it looks just like this. And these two circles represent the spiritual callings, the whispers that we have inside, the things that we think about that are like, like I should probably start doing this. Or I don't know if I want to be with this company anymore. It might be time to start my business. Or I think I need to slow down because I'm missing time with my kids. Like there's these little whispers that we have. And if we can learn to listen and follow those whispers, right, we will be in that middle section. And on this side is our human experience. Soul's calling, human experience. Know thyself, love thyself. Right? In our human experience, we came here to feel all the things. So we didn't come here to just feel calm. So the real truth is, it's not about chasing permanent calm. It's just learning about how to manage this ride of emotions that we chose to experience, right? Like, can't feel happiness without some sadness. You know, you can't know these great heights and these great changes, this feeling of relief and fulfillment if you maybe haven't tasted the deep darkness and the struggle before. Right? Like we came here for this spectrum of feelings, not just the good stuff. Right? So we must also learn to love the parts when we are sad, discouraged, overwhelmed, to laugh at ourselves, to see it, to understand, oh, it's all part of this human experience. And if I'm following my whispers, it's all going to come together. So there's three things that I use to really help me kind of keep in this space where I'm listening to my calling, I'm taking the action steps, I'm doing what's asked of me, but I'm also surrendering to the process. I'm loving myself and I'm letting go, right? Like discipline and surrender mixed together equal flow, equals calm. It equals this like really cool space where we're doing what we know we need to do and we're also surrendering to the process, right? I think so much of us don't have as much calm because why? We seek control. We're gripping. We're holding on so tight. And letting go and surrender does not have to be spiritual because essentially letting go is simply releasing the illusion that you have control of everything in the first place. The stuff I'm talking about has been through my experience. So I also want to say that a lot of the stuff I say doesn't mean that it's gospel and it's not the word. It is not the only way. It is just a way. And it's something that I've learned through my 10 years in personal development, through 20 years as a business owner and an entrepreneur. 2019, I lost the ability to walk. I had 12 years of back pain and issues that came to a head, and I lost the ability to walk. And after that, I learned to heal my body without surgery. I brought myself back to health. I became an ultra runner. Never ran my whole life. And now I run ultra marathons in the mountains. Who'd have thought? So I don't say this to boast. I just say it because a lot of what I'm going to talk about comes from actual big identity transformations along the way. Moments where I've met the limit, the edge, the breaking point, and the darkness, and I've totally taken it a different direction. I've dealt with drug addiction and drug abuse in my past. I've dealt with issues with the law. I had a very colorful life for a time before I was in personal development, an Emma loving husband and family man. And I've experienced all these different pieces of life. And what I'm going to talk about today and all these little things that I share is the condensed version of everything that I've learned. Because I've hustled. I owned restaurants. I owned a food truck. I hustled and I've built companies that were 7-figure businesses. And I know what it feels like to grind. I know what it feels like to watch your dreams come true. And I also know what it feels like to lose yourself in the process, right? To fade away and find yourself at the finish line empty without feeling and wondering, was this all that it was cracked up to be? So I believe that a lot of our ability to find calmness in life is to actually understand that loving the process is the core. I know we talk about it all the time. It's like the biggest like cliche that's not really a cliche is that you got to learn how to love the process, right? But how do we love the process? So this is also what I want to talk about. I'm gonna check my time. Looking good. So I told you about the Venn diagram. Now I want you to imagine the Venn diagram with one more. Okay? Just like this. So we have 3 circles we want to bring together. 3 different areas that are going to be your compass, that are going to help you to implement maybe what this aha is, that, you know what, like maybe it is okay if I slow down. Maybe I need to just stop and listen more. If there's been a lot of listening coming up, I imagine that there's been talk that in the stillness we hear the answers, right? Like there's a saying that I love, and that is, the heart has no questions and the mind has no answers, right? So there's a lot of this talk of stillness, finding the calm, slowing it down. And how do we do that while also still driving? How do I balance my already built up overwhelm? How do I knock things off of my to-do list? So this compass is how I stay in a place of progress while also keeping myself calm and slowing down. Yes. The 3 circles represent discipline, compassion, surrender. Another way to look at it is structure, compassion, faith, letting go. There's different ways that we can match this together, but I'm going to tell you about how I see it all come together. I mentioned before that we have this soul's calling, these little whispers of things that we are asked and curious about. Maybe not, maybe we don't even register it as a question that we're being asked for something, but maybe it's this curiosity, this little whisper inside that's like, I wonder what that would be like. Like, I'd like to take ballroom dancing lessons. Like this little whisper of some new thing that your body wants to try or your heart wants to experience. And if we start taking the steps to answer that calling, to do that, that is in our structure. How we build that structure, that discipline, that one step forward, that helps to bring us satisfaction and joy inside. Because when we silence those whispers, we bleed. We feel stressed. We feel overwhelmed. We're accomplishing things, but we're second guessing. We feel like there's something missing. And there is something missing. And it's us not listening to the whisper that's all our body and our soul really wants us to do. So when I say discipline, it's not about like, hey, you got to do this every single day. You got to make your bed. You got to do it. I mean, I get it. And I have a fun like routine that I do. And I think routines are fantastic. But I also think we live in a world where our to-do list is never ending. So in order for us to really continue forward, we have to build a new structure that helps us feel grounded. And that is that area of listening to our calling. So like, I know, like in my heart, it's important to me to put out information into the world and to share some of my wisdom and like some of the lessons I've learned. So I know that in the morning, I'm going to take time to sit with myself. I journal every morning. I do get up early. I do wake up at 4, but that's also because I owned restaurants for 7 years. So I was waking up early for a long, long, long time. But I wake up naturally around 4. I get up, I make my mineral drink. I come into my office. I sit with my journal. I write. I write things out. I clear my space. I set my mental container. I might record something. I get into my creative space. I get these things out that like, I know I'm called and I'm feeling like it's important for me to do, but it's also something that I could easily wash over. I could easily wash over training, which I do typically every morning. I get out and I move my body. So I get up early and I do all these things for my mind, my soul, like my calling for contribution. I record, I put out content, and then I go and I train my body. I do all these things before I get into the day, because the day is the day and the responsibilities are going to be there. So like, I don't live in a fantasy world where it's like, I can do whatever I want and I get facials at 3 because it's Tuesday. Like, I get it. We got to have structure. And we got to appreciate that, like, if we don't fuel the machine, if we don't put good new oil in our car, it's going to slow down. And the same is with us, and our levels of calm are found in our ability to keep a structure, because that structure invites stillness. The structure invites the calm. The structure allows you to stop fluttering and worrying. setting new non-negotiables that are things that you know you want to do, but you can easily wash over, will change the energetic flow of your entire day. And that is where this discipline bucket is. And I hope that's more helpful and clear of what I mean when I say that word. Compassion is the part that I think is often missed. If we do not learn to speak to ourselves in a different way, we will not get the outcome of the emotion that we want to feel. Right? So this is this part of loving thyself, right? Listening to the calling, know thyself, love the human experience, really learning how to be compassionate with the words and the things that we talk about externally and internally. Stop being your critic, start being your cheerleader. Right? Like it's easy. We know how to critique ourselves. And you know what? Like I could look back and things I've done and I could do a million different ways that this could have gone. And it's not helpful. And we got to accept it. Right? Like the way that we speak to ourselves matters. The way that we talk about our life experience matters. What I choose to share with you when I see you, when I see my wife and I'm passing through the house, what am I choosing to share with her? Is it a positive note or is it something I'm stressed out about? What am I repeating? Right? What am I creating in this energetic cycle of what goes out, what comes in? What goes out that I create and I absorb back in through my experience. Learning how to be compassionate with yourself is a direct line to learning how to be compassionate with our children, right? Learning how to be compassionate with yourself might not come naturally. I would love to invite you to think about what you would wish your parents would have said in those moments when they said something you wish they hadn't. And if you can hone in on that, that is how I want you to speak to yourself. It's how I want you to remember when the time comes that you've lost it and you've reached your boiling point and you want to tell the children, damn it, shut up. I want you to tap into what you wish that mom and dad would have said, right? Like what you would want to say, you know, what you really want to say, what you'd want to hear for yourself. This is how we can change our inner dialogue. You know, like none of us in this room, if we're parents, and my guess, would ever tell our children what we say to ourselves about our own life and our own actions. None of us would look at our kid and be like, I can't believe you haven't gotten it together yet. Jesus, look at yourself. Like, no. I mean, could you imagine? Like, I mean, oh my God, we'd never say that. But we do that all the time. Can we talk to ourselves like the way that we would talk to our children? Or at least we would best present ourselves to our children. Like, can we start speaking that way to ourselves? Can we acknowledge that some of the stuff we say would never fly if it went downwards in our home to that next generation? We'd never say those things. If you can shift this discipline circle, or I'm sorry, this dialogue circle, this level of communication, right, and compassion for yourself, if you can turn that into a source of cheerleading, of bolstering, of loving yourself in the process, this isn't a scapegoat card. This isn't like, oh, I don't do anything. Like, you know what? It's all good to love myself. Like, because there's a truth around it that you can't. Because if you're not listening to the soul's calling and you're not doing the things, you're going to feel the pain anyway. So you can talk all you want good, but if you're not doing it, you're going to feel the pain. But if you are doing it and you're trusting and you're still being hard on yourself, you're going to feel the pain. So we got to eliminate these little pain sources so that we can feel the calm, the level of fulfillment, that sustained thing. It's not about that we get to the goal. The way that we feel calm is how we manage the moments, how we manage our communication, how we manage our structure, right? And that can include boundaries, maybe some discipline in our tech use, maybe letting go of a little social media time. I mean, I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying, right? The structure and then the surrender. Am I letting go? Am I listening and letting go? These three circles give us this center peace, this warmth, this confidence, this clarity. These are the things that help us stay balanced in life. And balanced is calm. And fulfilled is calm. Structure is calm. Compassion is calm. And letting go is calm. Right? And that might be the one that you have the hardest time with. Maybe it's just that you're not really good at keeping up the personal commitments. I'd invite you to not give yourself so many, but to hone in on a couple. Start stacking little minor wins so that you feel really good again, because this is important and you don't have to do everything, but you do have to do some things to keep this moving. And our dialogue. Perhaps being your hardest critic is your biggest thing that you get to change. But what's cool is that with these three, there's not many places that we really have to wander. I think in personal development, we can get stuck on the hamster wheel of always going back to our trauma to heal. Oh, new thing. Well, where'd that come from? Gotta go find it. Gotta go find it. You know, like, oh, next thing. Oh, we're never healed. We're always peeling layers. Yes, I get it. And I believe it. This is a never ending journey. But man, like, we also got to love the spot and trust that sometimes I don't need to look for some source, that this is just me being human. And it's all good to trust in that process, to give myself a better spin on that dialogue, right? On that level of compassion that we give ourselves. If you can blend these three, if you feel out of flow, out of sync, bogged down, overwhelmed, give yourself a few minutes to say, what have I been doing daily? Like, well, I'm nonstop. I mean, I'm like, there is no minutes. I'm knocking things out. Am I giving myself time to recover? Have I created any space for refueling, for resetting, for rejuvenation? Have I created any space for myself to breathe? Maybe not. Maybe that's what I need to do. Have I been hard on myself? How am I speaking to myself? What am I saying? Do I doubt my resolution? Do I truly doubt my resolution? Or do I believe that, you know what, no matter what obstacles come, I'm going to find my way to the finish? And however it's supposed to land is how it's supposed to land. What do I believe more? And if it's doubt, then that's where you get to work, right? But if you fully believe, if you know it, and you're doing all the things, but you still feel overwhelmed and bogged, then you just might be being a little hard on yourself. You might be talking to yourself a little rough. This is my little golden triad, right? It's these three things. I think if we can really master this, I think that we really get to love the process of knowing thyself and loving thyself, because this is what we're shooting for. If you've ever wondered what the purpose of life is, I think that it's these two things right here. How do we blend and experience the gift of knowing thyself and loving thyself? My purpose in life, right? Like my occupation, my creations, right? All the things I bring in my profession come from this. My relationships, the memories, the things that'll be told about me come from this. Who I am and my energetic nervous system is what you remember when you're with me. And one day we'll all be gone. And one day it'll never matter. So really it only matters about now. Right? Like we can be calm by letting go of the control. We can be calm by doing one thing today. We can be calm by giving ourselves a pat on the back instead of a kick in the face. For lack of a better term, right? What do we do after this to implement? So I learned a lot of this through my ultra running, through taking on a challenge that allowed me to push my mental capacity, my physical capacity, my emotional capacity, and my spiritual capacity. It's probably one of, in my personal opinions, one of the greatest transformational modalities that we could use is training for and completing an endurance event. What we learn in the training and what we learn in the event, out of this world. So a lot of this has come through that. And I say to people, I think it's good to challenge yourself, to find a challenge. It doesn't have to be running a marathon through a mountain. Like I have one that I'm working towards. I want to do a silence, a darkness retreat for 7 days. And to be honest, it scares the crap out of me. Like I have built like at some point in like the last 10 years of my 42 years, I've become claustrophobic. So like all of a sudden, never was in my life, now I am. So like there's just certain things, and that is a limit stretcher, like meditating every day for an hour a day would be something that I would love to experience, that type of structure, maybe for a year, right? To get into these new things. Those are different levels of capacity and stretching yourself and challenging yourself and learning who you are along the way. How do I show up for myself? What do I do when it gets hard? Like, do I quit? How do I talk to myself? Like, these endurance events essentially mimic life because there's a start point, there's a end destination, right? There's obstacles that show up along the way. Things don't always go as they seem. There's going to be a point where things break and you're going to have to think on your feet and overcome. So I say do these experiences, these challenges that mimic life, because what you learn from yourself, what the knowing of thyself that comes from that, you can implement in your life. It'll automatically show up in your challenges and your struggles and everything that you want to face. It'll probably answer a lot of the callings that you have as well for yourself to reach this next level of expansion, of knowing. Practice loving yourself in a new way. This is number 2. My invitation would be, if you want to have a fun experience every night, and it doesn't have to be right before bed. You can give yourself maybe like an hour before bed or something like that. But every night, write in a journal for 30 days what you're proud about yourself from that day. So every day for 30 days, I want you to end your night by writing all the things that you're proud of yourself for. The moments that you shifted your mindset, the areas that you landed, how you gave yourself grace, all the different things, right? Like you were there to tuck your kids in for bed, whatever it is. List them every single day for 30 days. Watch what happens. And then number 3, detox from social. Third possible thing that you could take from this and give yourself a gift is detoxing from social. You could try for a weekend. I remember my first one was a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It took me all the way to Sunday night for me to stop feeling the jittery energy that I get from social media that I didn't even know I got. Finally ended like midday Sunday. Monday, I was supposed to get back to my phone. I didn't even pick it up until 4 in the afternoon because I felt like released. Like, oh, I don't want to grab it now. It's like, interesting. So I've actually been off of social media for about the past 4 months. Been like this, like very light, touchy feel thing. I'm starting now to come back into it, but it's a whole different space. It's a whole different energy. And it took that 4 months to truly rewire and disconnect. Right? So like, again, breakthroughs are fantastic, but extended effort for what we learn can implement things that will change your life forever. Right? Structure, these daily wins and the answering of our inner calling. Right? Dialogue, how we speak to ourselves, compassion, 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 and surrender, letting go, understanding that you don't have control. So letting go is actually giving yourself power. It's not taking it away. All right? You're not robbing yourself anymore. You guys are all so incredible. The last thing that you said, Celia, was like, I like to help people remember how incredible they are. And that is exactly what I like to do. Like, that is my thing. I do it with my coaching. UPX, I train people to become ultra athletes, and all these non-runners that have never run in their life, that are in their 40s and 50s, that are running through the mountains. Like, I love reminding people how incredible they are. And there's so many ways to do it. But the truth is that me reminding you is just the echo that I hope that you start to make on your own, right? That you take away and that you start loving yourself a little different. You start trusting yourself a little different. And maybe you implement some of these callings a little different, right? So that you can find this new level of calm and balance. We don't have to be everywhere like the world makes us feel like we have to be. We got to be here, where we feel, where we experience the world, right? Like, I got AstroTurf in my office studio thing. So I got my bare feet right now, right? And like, I can feel it. And it's like, it gives me so much joy because it makes me think, wow, like, you put a lot of hard work in, and now you have this like little room and this AstroTurf. And it's weird. My mind actually thought about all that stuff while I'm just talking to you guys, but that's this level of presence and like, wow, like it's just so much joy for right now. And this is, I think, how we find it, right? Know thyself, love thyself. It's the balance that we need. You guys are all amazing, and it's all inside of you. And if you're curious and you want to learn more, you reach out to me. How's that?
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Wait. Where'd you go? Hold on. I messed
I'm
up.
right here.
Czar. Why do I try to do these things by myself? Oh, no. That's bad talking to myself. That's bad. Oh my gosh, Danny, I'm ready to go run a marathon, but really for like a very short distance.
That's what they all say. That's how it all starts.
That's how it all begins. Baby steps, baby
Oh my
steps.
goodness.
Does
I love
everybody
it.
else feel like super empowered to like move to the next level? That is what you do. That is what you do.
Thank
You're
you, my
you're
friend.
you're amazing. Speak of who's amazing. He's amazing. So, does anybody have any questions, first of all, before I continue with my questioning? We're all amazing. We are. You're right, Czar.
That's right. That's right,
That's right.
Czar.
That's right. And unfortunately, people don't know that enough. They don't know. And I I, I don't know if you saw the video we played of my client Anita, who made this incredible Day of Calm quilt behind me that we're giving away for donation. Um, and I would play it, except that not Zoom is like when we play our videos, there's no sound and there's some glitch in Zoom. So I would play it for you, but you won't hear her. But the reason I play it is because it is a real look into the future because Anita's 80 years old. She's been through abuse in her family, two husbands that abused her, and somebody that's 80 and she thinks so little of herself, you know. And that's what, and like even my father who this is why I created the Day of Calm and why it's on April 5th, because that's the day he passed away in 2020. So, oh, I guess tomorrow.
Mhm.
What is this, 2025? He's been gone 5 years. Unbelievable. And my mother's been gone 7. But he was the type of person that achieved all these things. He put seatbelts into automobiles. He sent men to the moon, worked on the Apollo missions. He created the fastest warship in the Navy in the world that's still in the Guinness Book of World Records, so that people could go from the United States and if a country need help, they could race over there in a few hours instead of days. And he felt so defeated because he was physically mental abused as a kid and he didn't have the ability to find all the good in him and to celebrate all the good in him. And up to the day he died when he was 92 years old, he always felt like he was so nothing, like he didn't accomplish what he should have. I'm like, like the impact you made on humanity, the millions upon millions upon millions of people that are saved because they buckle a seatbelt around their lap before they drive away, you can't even
It's
count that
crazy.
impact. And
It's
yet,
crazy.
because of the abuse and him never being able to conquer that abuse and that mindset and beating himself up for 92 years, it pretty much destroyed the soul of that man.
Hmm.
And it's very sad that so many people live the thoughts that are put there by other people, by
Yeah.
people that they don't give any even credit to or even consider them impactful, and yet they planted these thoughts in their head.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
It's been interesting as I've been on my journey. I've come to learn and experience for myself, like, okay, like there's a lot of different ways and different levels and styles to go about healing, and like finding ours, finding our own is really important, you know. And I think in a world full of noise, like right now we have the ability to ask the internet anything and get an answer. But that ability has turned into so many freaking answers that I don't know what to do anymore. So I'm just not going to do anything. It's like we
Right.
have infobesity. There's so much information we can't even move anymore.
Right.
Like it's crazy. And so like, you know, I say that because I think that there's also a lot of people out there that say, just do this. Like, you don't need to do that, only do this. Or like, you know, like for myself, like I started in like habits and routines, you know, and then I started learning how to like listen to my heart. And then I started learning how to like heal, you know, childhood trauma and things like that. And then and so like there's these layers, but like had ever at any point been like, oh, you don't need to do that. You just need to learn childhood trauma release and then you're going to be good. Like, oh, you need to go here. Like, oh, you need to do that. There's so much of this thing where it's like, you know, really the truth is I think the reality is that it's actually a cascading of different modalities. And like, we don't just start somewhere and we're done. We actually have to go through a series of it. And I think sometimes people jump in the healing, not to say that you can't take a quantum leap of healing, but I think that there's things that's like, oh, because why? Because we're a culture of speed. We're a culture of fast. So if anybody ever says anything that's like, oh, just do this and you're good, it's like, oh, let's do that. And then it's like we expect to be so quick to our result that we get tied up. We stop talking to ourselves good. We stop believing that it can be a thing, and we stop doing anything about it. And it's kind of like this, like this detachment of social media is almost like this, just a practice of really just detaching from the noise, right? Finding the structure and the stillness is really just about detaching from the noise. Like there's so many people telling us what to do. We already know what we want to do, and we have 15 different ways to do it. So we don't know which way to choose. It's like, you know, so I think that there's so much about listening to your heart. There's so much about trusting these inner callings and just acting on them. Like what I'm doing right now in my business, like it would be unadvisable by any business coach and consultant. But I don't care. Like I've listened to a lot of them. Like I know what I want in my business. And like right now, like I have certain areas of focus that would seem totally like confusing to certain people. And that's okay. You know, like right now, like I'm as I come back into social media, like I just want to like be on social media and like give and like give and give and give. And I want to like I don't want to like use it to be feeding my business. Like I want to be on it just for fun. I want to be on it just to give, like because that's what I love and that's what my soul's calling is. But like in the world and in the noise, it says, well, you have to figure out how to monetize it, and that is not what feels good for me right now. And I'm not gonna do
I'm
that.
the same way.
And it will work out, and I will be fine. And like business does come to me naturally, and I have yet to cement this practice, even though it's the deepest whisper, because there's so much fear around if I let go of the grip, then the business will fall. If I stop trying or inviting or creating programs, the business will fall. And I'm really clear on this. Like, no, like I'm going to give. Right. I started even partnering with another company that's going to help to fill that, you know, help to fuel this feeling of like, no, I want to just pour. I want to pour. And there's new things coming. And it's like this new stage and season of my life of surrender. Listen, like all this beautiful stuff. And it's so many things that we all fear, right? Like can't let go, got to follow the path, got to listen to this mentor. Like this is the step process. Like there are steps that we want to take that we kind of have to take in order to really climb our path, right? Which I think is where we really find fulfillment, you know? That's why there's people that are lawyers or doctors because their parents told them and they're really successful and just not
Exactly.
happy, right?
I talked to
They're like
that
house on
college in
Malibu and it's like,
India
this
this
sucks.
morning, and I talked about that. Are you on a path because somebody wants you on that path? Or are you on a path because you want to be on that path? And it
Yeah.
makes you show up totally different. You have no, well, I was talking to Mike about time and we're scheduling things out, and nothing I do feels like work to me. Everything
Mm,
I do is a pleasure
yeah.
because I know I'm helping, but I'm just like you. I just want people to have resources. I want them to have the help that I can provide them. And that just gives me peace, and that gives me calm, and that gives me joy.
Yeah. The things that really give us peace and calm and joy are oftentimes not the things that we're seeing all over the place. Like it's hard to take a picture of like the things that really make us feel calm. You know, like
Right.
I put a video up this morning on my Instagram and my Facebook, and it was a video of my son making peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I just sat and I just watched him. Just watched him. And
Your
he's like,
son
he
is
told me
so cute.
yesterday, he's like, I want to make my lunch. Mom was getting him ready for school. I said, let's not do that today, son. I said, she's got her system. We're not going to disrupt it. I was like, tomorrow, I'm gonna get you ready for school. And I was like, and I'll let you wield that knife and slice
Let him make his lunch the
peanut
night
butter that
before.
bread and all that. But I just watched him do it, and I recorded him, and I just sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, just in the moment. And it's this beautiful thing, and it gives me such a great feeling that I'm thinking about now, and I feel so good. And that moment could have just like went by. I could have just been running around the house. I could have not gotten up early. I could have gotten up when he woke up, and I could be in my own race. Like the things that we really make us so happy. We already got them. They're here.
Yeah,
They're everywhere
they
in our
are.
life.
They're right in front of him. We're so busy doing stuff, we miss it. So
Yeah,
true.
doing stuff to feel it. It's like we're at the party and we're like, hold on, I got to go get ready so I can be at the party. I'll be right back from the
Right.
party. I'll be right
Right.
back. Hold on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
You forget that you're already there. You just
you're
have
already
to look
there.
up and see.
Right. Yeah.
I know. Well, thank you, Danny. Thank you for being here. That was such a pleasure. And it was so, I know everybody who's listening feels like ready to go take on the world. So we're going to go take on the world.
I love
Let's
it.
do this.
You're the
So
best.
thank you. I know, oh, well, you're like in the afternoon. Are you mountain
It
time?
is. It's like 12:30. My wife doesn't
Oh,
know
you're
it, but
Pacific time.
I'm Pacific right
Oh,
now.
you're
So I'm
Pacific.
Pacific in the summer, I'm Mountain in the winter.
Oh,
Arizona doesn't
that's why.
change time zones, but we do change. We don't roll our clocks back. We changed. I don't know. It's weird.
I
But
know the whole
my
time
wife
zone
actually
thing.
doesn't know it, but I'm about to go organize the garage, and I
Ooh,
got a unit
exciting.
to store her art. So I'm gonna go like do this whole thing. She has no
I was just
idea.
going to say, your wife is an amazing artist. I
Oh,
mean,
thank you.
doesn't she have a website?
She does. She
What's her website
does.
called? Or type it in the
It's
chat because
I'm gonna
her
put it in the
art,
chat. cgdiazart.com.
phenomenal. You guys should check it out. There we go.
cgdiazart.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna spoil her with this cool like garage reorganization thing. She's gonna be so excited. It's gonna be so
Oh,
fun.
good. Well, you go. You go
Yeah,
spoil her.
I
You're
will. I
you're
will.
you're a
This is so
wonderful couple,
awesome.
and I love that you let everybody know it.
Thank you. And I love you. You're the best.
I love you
I love what
too,
you're doing.
Danny. Thank you so much for being here. I'm truly grateful.
No problem, Celia. Anytime. Anytime.
Harry's on tomorrow.
I love it. I know. He's the best too. It's just like I tell you. You too, man. The two of you coming out of that group, amazing.
Yep, that made the group all worth it. That we all became
100%. I would
friends.
have paid twice for that.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. All right.
All
We'll
right,
see you
my
later.
friend.
Thank you. Or you could stay
Love you.
as we close up. Love you too.
I'm gonna get on this cleaning.
Oh yeah,
So
go
I
fix your
love you
garage.
guys.
Go for
Contact
it.
I put my email in the chat for anybody that wants to connect, drop me a line, send me an email, I'll send you a text, something like that. We'll figure it out. I'm happy to connect. Anybody that wants a little, just whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be focused on anything. I'm not gonna sell you anything. So if you want any help or whatever, give me a shout. Okay?
Sounds
That's my
good.
gift.
Thanks,
I love you
Danny.
guys.
Bye, honey.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with a friend and leave us a review that will help others. Wonder why kids don't come with a manual? Well, wonder no more, because I wrote you one, and it's just won a wonderful Mom's Choice Award. Go to celiasbooks.com and buy your copy of Raising Happy Toddlers, as well as my children's books. I appreciate you being part of my mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. Please be intentional and hug on those kids of yours. See you at the next episode.